What's up, E Nation? Welcome back. We have another collab video for y'all today. My name is Amir, Team to Beat Miami Heat Basketball Channel. I'm back with Trent from the Miami Heat Network and Martel from the Miami Heat Zone podcast. What's up, guys?
Yo,
What's going on, man? Listen, today's going to be one of these episodes that I feel like a lot of people are going to be ranting because we've seen some stuff and we're already seeing reports about certain players. But y'all going to see, man. If y'all want to continue to keep seeing this score together, calm it down. We've been seeing each other's comments and it seems like y'all really enjoy this. So we appreciate y'all and love you, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. So just want to give you guys a shout out. It was really fun. We met a few days ago. Did a video with Ernest from Miami Heat Talk. He's unavailable today, but we're gonna meet up, I think, sometime early next week so the four of us can get back together. We're gonna try to do that on a weekly basis, but like I said at the end of the last video, that we're just gonna try to connect and collaborate whenever we can. If it's two of us, three of us, four of us. So really fun conversation that we had last week. But let's start off on a positive note before we
wait,
get.
one more thing. If you are on my channel, please go to Amir's channel and subscribe to his channel. We had 1,000 subscribers at least within 2 weeks. If you are on my channel, if you're on Trent's channel, subscribe to Amir's channel. We're all doing this together. Subscribe to everyone's channel on this platform, and I appreciate it and thank you.
I appreciate you, my brother. So
Most
yeah,
definitely.
obviously anybody who's like subscribed to 500 or the close to 500, they're subscribed to my channel. If you're not following Martel or Trent, obviously follow their channel. I'll link their
And go
channels.
to Trent's channel. He also has another channel, Top Notch. Go to his description, follow it up, blow it up. You need to get to 12K.
For sure, man.
Subscribe to his channel. All right, now let's roll.
Let's
Yeah,
get it,
man, this
man.
kid this kid knows basketball. So before we cook on one particular player that we're all pretty heated about, especially after that shot, um, let's start off on a good note. So Coach Spo just recently got the bag. So not only is he the highest paid coach in the NBA, he's the highest paid coach across all four major sports, which
Yeah.
is insane if you guys didn't know that, right? So, what are your guys' thoughts on Spo's contract extension? What are your thoughts on how he's been doing, obviously, throughout his tenure, but then also this season?
He's the best coach in the NBA. He has literally done more with less than any coach. He doesn't cry. He doesn't complain. He has players out, for months at a time. These lineups change every other night. We have the most changing lineups at all. He's the most competitive coach. He keeps his team competitive. And like I said, he doesn't cry about it. Like at the end of the day, I think they disrespect him and they diminish his career because he played with the big three. That's not his fault. Just because he played with the big three, all these other, Hall of Fame coaches, they had a bunch of Hall of Famers, Kobe, Shaq, Tim Duncan with the Spurs, with Tony Parker and Ginobili, with Popovich. What has Popovich done since they left? And look at Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr hijacked that team from Mark Jackson. Think about that. He hijacked that team from Mark Jackson. If Mark Jackson was the coach, they would have done the same thing with Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr is a good coach, though. But I just think that Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA, and they disrespect him. They diminish him. Think about it. He's never won a Coach of the Year. Just think about that alone. But I'll let that be.
So, how I feel, I was telling Amir before the episode even started. Eric Spoelstra is like having a player on the court because we come into games with an advantage. When we look at the coaches in the league, there's a few good coaches, but majority of the time, Eric Spoelstra's 10 times better than them. He's just going to outplay them. And I want to talk about a specific moment where we beat those bum ass Lakers. We beat them without our players. Let's
Yes,
not
sir.
forget, right? And Darvin Ham came out, and this is where I want to compare these coaches. I know Darvin Ham's nowhere near Spoelstra's, but I just want to show you the mentality of Eric Spoelstra, right? Darvin Ham comes out and pretty much says, the Lakers missing multiple rotation players is more impactful than missing a big dog. And that's obviously throwing shots at, Jimmy Butler missing that game. Spo came out and says, it don't matter. Like, I'm just kind of, I don't remember exactly what he said, but pretty much he was going with whoever's on the court, whoever's on the team, we're going to find a way to win. Pretty much. Simple as that. It don't matter if we don't got Jimmy. It don't matter if we got Tyler. It don't matter if we're missing Bam. These are professional NBA players at the end of the day. They belong on a team, obviously, because a team, it's not like a football team. This is an NBA team. There's not a lot of roster spots open. These dudes can compete. And even when you see these players come in garbage minutes, they're still getting buckets. They're good players. And so when you have Spall here, he puts Jovic in the rotation now. Look what he's doing, right? And yeah, he has been stubborn about that. We all know about that, but he finally put him in. He's looking like a good player for our team. All these players are missing, and this team is still being competitive, man. So Spo's the greatest coach of all time. And just to throw some like numbers out there real quick, and I'll let you go. He's ranked 19th NBA history, and only 3 coaches. Pop with the Spurs, Jerry Sloan with the Utah, and I cannot pronounce his name. I think it's Red Arthurback with Boston.
You're a
Have more
Boston. You can't say Red Arrowback. Come on.
Yeah, Red Arrowback has 1 more games with 1 franchise. This Spoelstra has with the Heat. He has 725 regular season wins with this team, man. So we got to give him credit. Well-deserved money. And I love you, Spo.
Yeah, man, dude. His impact on this team has been instrumental, especially post Big 3 era. Like, he's only missed the playoff 3 times. Like, we don't rebuild, right? We don't play, like, we don't tank. Like, he gets the most out of all his players, like Martel has said. He makes his players better. Like, schematically, obviously one of the best in-game, mid-game adjustments, like second to none. Like implementing that zone that I sometimes don't love at times, right? But like just like throwing that like obstacle, like a lot of coaches don't do that. So Spo, huge, obviously impact on our team. 60% win rate as a coach, which is super impactful. He's won 2 NBA championships, as we obviously know, with the Big 3. He's made the finals 6 different times. So this dude does have impact on winning. To your point, Trent, I think he's well deserved, and I think he's the best coach in the NBA too. And we're not being biased because if you listen to JJ Redick's podcast, other players like Gilbert Arenas, like former players, current players, existing coaches, they all would say the same. So
yeah, no, I definitely agree, man. We're blessed to really have him, and we're gonna have him pretty much to the end of this, until wherever he wants to wrap it up, because he's here for a long time, and I love it. So yeah. Shout out to Eric Spoelstra. That's the only positive thing that I want to talk about. Well, there's probably going to be more. But, like, it's a positive thing for the Miami Heat right now.
Yeah, no, man. That was a good thing. That news came out, 2-3 days ago. So good for Spo. He's got the bag. He's got that generational wealth. I think his wife picked the wrong time to go through that divorce. I don't know if it was on her end or it was amicable, but, good timing, I guess, for Spo to get that bag after the divorce. We'll see if that maybe, I don't know if the paperwork is finalized, probably not, but
what's funny? I was gonna bring that up, but I didn't know how like that subject. I don't know too much about the subject. I know they broken up and stuff like that, whatever. But I see a joke about it all over the internet. Like he got his money and his girlfriend, or his wife, lost the bag. I think she responded. I didn't click on the video. I don't know.
No, I saw that she was trolling people, or she was getting trolled, or vice versa. Like, but I'm like, dude, they have kids together. She's set for life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm married. I don't want to. If I was younger, I'd probably laugh more about that type of thing.
Yeah, but ain't no joke.
Yeah, breaking up a family sucks. But anyway, so yeah, that was the positive. It looks like Martel fell off, but we'll keep going. So, next topic that we want to talk about is your boy Tyler Herro, man. Just what are your thoughts on his inconsistency, which is one of the things I've always disliked about Tyler Herro, outside of many other things that we could talk about. I'm not a Tyler hater, neither are you, right? We just we just have high expectations for him. He's getting the spotlight, he's getting all the shots, he's getting the limelight. He just needs to produce, and he's been inconsistent. And like the last week, he's been inconsistent. 2 weeks ago, he was inconsistent. And just more specifically, how expendable do you think he is? What's his future with the Heat? How do you feel about his last performance?
Like I said in my other episode, if you guys haven't, go check it out. I said we need to trade him, and I still believe we need to trade him. And he's honestly just proving my point even more. So let's just talk about the first thing first, consistency, right? Against the Thunder, 36 minutes. All right, pretty much playing damn near the game, right? Only 17 points. Okay. 7 for 21. Fucking horrendous. 1 for 5 at the fucking 3-point line. Fucking horrendous, right? And so then, we could talk about the shot, whatever in case may be, but I just want to show the numbers real quick, right? Against the Rockets, he played good. We won the game. He had 28 points, 10 for 25 for 10, right? But against his Suns, 35 minutes, 9 points, 4 for 17. So these are just 4 games back-to-back where a bunch of inconsistencies, which we don't like to see. Because when we go in a playoff series, right? He drops 30 points, and then the next game we need him to win. He drops 4. is not cutting it. It's just not cutting it at all. And so he has been inconsistent at least these last 12 games. Like when we're just looking at these numbers right here and just watching him play, it is horrendous, right? Obviously he's still good as a player, but the problem with the Miami Heat at the moment is that like we can't create our own. It seems like we just can't really create our own shot in the sense of like if Tyler Herro is just not getting open and chucking a bunch of shots, like this offense is like, and that's part of injuries, of course, right? But it's like this offense is like mid. I mean, against the Thunder, right, or against the Thunder that we just recently played, we was fucking horrible for like that fourth quarter. Like we just couldn't hit nothing.
Third quarter too.
Yeah. And these are these things where it's just like it's frustrating, and that's why we need to trade for somebody and get somebody out in here because Tyler can't do it. It's done and over with Tyler. He can't do it no more. And then let's talk about this fucking injury. He gets a shoulder injury. Now he's fucking doubtful. How much you want to bet he's gonna be out for at least 2 weeks? How much you want to bet he's gonna be out for 2 weeks? Jimmy Butler and Caleb Martin are coming back. Caleb Martin's actually coming back today. Jimmy Butler's gonna come back real soon. So is Kyle Lowry, right? But now we don't have Tyler Herro. This is a fucking pattern. This is a pattern with the Heat deal with all the time, and it's so frustrating. I said it in my last episode. Let's hope Tyler Herro don't get injury. It's early in the season. What happens later? He plays a couple games, bam, a fucking shoulder injury, bro. It's the most frustrating thing, right? And I get it. He's 20. I get it. He's 23 years old. I don't give a fuck. There's players like Chet. There's players the same age as him, producing and playing better than Tyler Herro. So I'm tired of this dude. And the thing is, I do think there's teams in the league that want him. The problem is, I think we look at Tyler Herro like, okay, maybe we can use him as a part of a deal to get a superstar player like Donovan Mitchell. And the league don't look at him like that. The league don't look at him as a franchise player like obviously the Miami Heat.
But he doesn't have to be a franchise player because think about it. They were going to give it 2 first-round picks.
Hold up, Marcel. Let me tell you something. Yeah, you can get these first-round picks, but remember, draft picks are not always a hit, especially with a certain organization. These organizations really don't know how to be drafted. Look at the Heat. We never really got those top picks in a while, and we just got a nice dude in. Let me say his name right before the freaking chat gets on me.
You talking about Jaime?
Yeah, Jaime, right? That's a 17th pick. There's people that in their organization, they get a top 5 pick, and they fucking don't know how to draft. They just fucking suck. So that's why that draft pick, to me personally, this is just for me, I think it's a little bit overrated. I think draft picks are overrated. So you need to get the nice piece. And that Tyler Herro is a nice car, but it's not that Lamborghini, right? I don't think he's that Lamborghini, and we've seen it so far. He's inconsistent, injury prone, and yeah, it's a nice piece, but like we got to give other assets up for a Donovan Mitchell or for a star player and stuff like that. So that's why I feel like, shit hasn't really gone our way that we want to, because he's just out. He's not doing what we need him to do at all.
He's not, man. He's super inconsistent. Offensively, that's what we need him to do. Obviously, we know he's going to be a liability on defense. Yes, he's improved on that end. He can move his feet laterally a little bit better. He's rotating a little bit better, but he's still getting targeted. Our perimeter defense, I think in the last video I said we were ranked 13th, which is kind of shitty. Defense is an issue right now. Obviously, offense, we're mid. We're like 16th also there, right? To your point, Trent, we have no 3-level scorer, no one who could just like, who's a natural bucket, like a Dame who would have been perfect, or like a Spida. Like, dude, even give me like a Lou Will type of kind of guy, a Jordan Clarkson kind of guy that can score off the bench. Like Caleb is not that guy, even though you can get buckets. Jaime is not like that type of microwave, ignitable. He's a great player all around, but you don't have that. Tyler needs the screen, needs to be in that pick and roll. Like
bad, bro. He needs that screen bad.
He can get downhill, but is he finishing? The only way he finishes at or in the paint is the floater. He's getting his ass tossed. I've never seen anybody get blocked so many times. He's not 6 foot. He's not 6'1" like Spida, right? He's 6'5", but I don't know why he gets blocked every.
You want to hear a really crazy stat?
Go for it.
Tyler Herro gets blocked 1 out of the 3 times that he goes to the rim.
Shut the hell up.
Bro, somebody said that right after the Thunder game and pulled the stat up. I said, that's a nasty stat right there. I just think like with Tyler Herro, 1, he's not playing within the flow of the team. So what I mean by that is, if you're jacking up 21 shots, my man, why are all of them, leaning away? And don't get me wrong, I think he's a good 3-point shooter. But you're telling me, especially at the end of the game, like you're not Devin Booker. Why are you taking a fall away, leaning 3-point shot? And this is this is the crazy thing. If you're 7 for 21, because mind you, that was close to the end of the game. Why are you and you pretty much haven't been hitting all game? Why are you trying to do some miracle, save the world? Trying to be a hero, fadeaway 3 in the corner for what? For what? Once again, I think he's a good player. I just don't think the Miami Heat can win with him long term. Trent, in terms of your injury, and trust me, we're gonna get into that with Jimmy Butler and like the rest of the team. This is where Pat Riley. This is probably the one thing that the Miami Heat do wrong. They don't put the right teammates around Jimmy Butler. So what I mean by that is if you have Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Herro, and Jimmy Butler on your roster, they consistently pretty much they're gonna get hurt and they're gonna miss time. You gotta prep for that. You can't just put it all on Jaime Hawkins Jr., Duncan Robinson, and the other role players because they're not. To be honest, if they're on any other team, they'd be like the 15th man. You see what I'm saying? If they're on any other NBA roster, bro, Jamal Cain is a 15 man. I don't care what anyone says. Jaime Jaquez Jr. on some teams wouldn't even get burned. If he was on the Nuggets, he really wouldn't get that much burn. Yes, he's a diamond in the rough, of course. And don't get me wrong, the Miami Heat, they do overachieve. But one thing I don't like about Heat fans is we can't just be like, well, we'll wait till we get to the playoffs. Or, oh, well, Jimmy's going to take us home. Listen, Jimmy just said it, 3 days ago that he can't even really run on his foot. You think that injury is just going to go away for the rest of the season? You don't think he's going to low manage the rest of the season? You don't think right before playoff time, he's going to be like, man, my knee hurts, my foot hurts, my ankle hurts? Come on. These are all things that we got to think about. We got to be able to pick a direction. I think the Miami Heat want to stay young and keep their veterans. That's fine. But Tyler Herro has to play within the realm of the offense. He needs to try. You know what I'm saying? If you jacking up 21 shots, my man, 21 shots. And listen, when we were on that road trip, three out of 3 games that he played, he had like 89 shots and only made 34. If you jacking up 89 shots, so that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. But
he jacked all these. Look, you brought up a good point. I don't wonder why his fucking shoulder hurts. He's just fucking chucking a bunch of bullshit ass shots, and his fucking shoulders hurting because he just like shoot, block. Yo, he frustrates me so much to the point where it's like, I just get irritated. Just want to fucking turn off the game because he just stupid.
And then last thing, he needs to grow his game more. During the offseason, he talked about getting to the free throw line, getting to the rim more. Because, bro, listen, Amir, you're right. The only way he can get close to the rim is with the floater.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling people, how is Duncan Robinson getting to the rim more? How? And I understand that Duncan Robinson is 6'8". But in my opinion, and this is where people's game starts to get exposed, you're telling me that Duncan Robinson, clearly he worked on it during the whole offseason. Yes, Tyler Herro's putting in that work too. But I thought Tyler Herro was an overall better player than Duncan Robinson. So how is Duncan Robinson now all of a sudden now getting like jelly layups, all these kind of reverse layups and all this crazy stuff around the rim? Tyler Herro should at least be able to get to the free throw line 5 times a night, at least. Especially when he's known as a good 3-point shooter. Pump fake, get to the rim, go for the midi. I just think that, one, I don't think he might not be good enough going forward, especially with Jimmy out. And we're going to talk about that later. And secondly, he needs to expand his game a little bit more, get to the free throw line, go to the rim. And thirdly, play within the realm of the offense a little bit more. If you know you're not making your shots, don't continue to jack up, fadeaway threes with 2 people on you.
Maybe move off the ball a little bit. Like our boy.
That's what I'm saying. Move off the ball.
Like Jaime, no plays are called for him. He will typically play on the wing and he'll spot up kind of in that like PJ Tucker role, like not the whole game, but like we'll get him in that corner for that 3. But also he moves, like he does a cut to the rim on the weak side at least 3 to 4 times a game. And every single game he gets either a layup or a dunk, right? So Tyler, we know Jimmy wants the ball in his hands. We know Bam wants the ball in his hands. We know Kyle is obviously going to have the ball at times as well. Do something off ball. Like he just doesn't. It's like when him and Jimmy are on the court too, specifically, they just take turns, right? They just kind of like stand around and observe each other. Play more like Jaime. Like
cut to the rim.
Cut to the rim. Move off ball. Like he doesn't do any of that shit. And so he's just super frustrating, man. He turns the ball over a lot too. Like he makes some boneheaded, like especially in the fourth quarter, cross-court passes. Jaime's doing that. Jovic is doing that. But guess what? Jovic is basically a rookie. Jaime's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Like Tyler, you're in your 5th year. Like he gets ripped a lot. Like I remember against the Clippers, Paul George and Kawhi. They're
Amir cooking today.
Remember those cookies? Like there's a lot of times where he's careless too with the ball as well, which pisses me off. But
Oh,
anyway,
but lastly, now one more thing, because you just said it. This team has been together for 5 years, and we still can't get it done. Don't get me wrong, we've seen success, but I'm talking about the core. The core doesn't even look good on the court. It's like what you just said. How come Tyler Hero's not cutting to the rim?
and we're
Some
never
of it is on Jimmy Butler because he's in and out of the lineup. You know what I mean? So that's kind of really hard to gel with your best players when one player misses like 20 to 30 games. That's hard. Bam Adebayo, he's the most consistent player, but like you just said, this core's been together for 5 years. Tyler Hero's been with us for that long as well. And like you just said, he do be getting ripped a lot. Once again, that's another weakness in his game where he might have to sharpen up the handles during the offseason. But
Let me ask you this, Trent, real quick too, and
Yeah.
Martel. So you mentioned Duncan, obviously, throughout that piece there. So, what are your thoughts? 'Cause this will never happen. It's not going to fly. There's ego and there's all this stuff, but like, look at Duncan Robinson's last 4 games. He's like 9 for 50 from three, inconsistent. Since he's been moved to the bench since Tyler's been back, his stats are going down. His playmaking is going down. Do you think Tyler would be better suited coming off the bench and we put Duncan back in? Like he's still gonna close games, Tyler. He's still gonna get more minutes than Duncan, right? Like, do you think he would sacrifice? Because Ernest said Tyler's playing for Tyler, right? Like multiple people say he doesn't care about the team. He doesn't play within the flow of the offense, to your point, Martel. But like, do you think he could succeed and we could be good enough if Tyler gets moved to the bench? Go for it, Trent.
I'll say this, right? Ernest brought up a really good point last episode. Like you said, he's playing for himself. I think so. The trade rumors affect him a lot, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when you're always involved in trades, you want to prove a lot of people wrong. You want to prove that the naysayers, the people in the background, I think he cares about that a little bit too much, to the point where it's like he's on the court and it's affecting him because he's like, I'm better. I deserve to be on this team, whatever the case may be. Blah blah blah. So, and then remember when he hasn't got his contract extension yet, right? There was talking about it and stuff. He said he wants to be a starter. He came out years ago before he's got the contract extension. He says, I want to be a starter, right? So the only way that I can see him sacrificing himself is not because he wants to. You need to tell Spo, this is better. This is the best for the team, right? This is what's best for the team and stuff like that. That's the only way. He's not going to volunteer and say, you know what? Duncan was playing better, when I was out and this and that. He ain't doing that. He just wants to prove everybody right or prove everybody wrong, whatever the case may be. He's just for himself. So unless Spo's going to be like, yo, you're coming off the bench, it's not happening. It's not happening at all.
He's not Goran Dragic, age 33, 34 years ago. He's not Russ, age 35, whatever he is, to be like, yeah, I'm down. Like, I guess I'm not in my prime. Like, I'm older. Like, mindset. He's 23. Like, it's different. Like, it's a little different. I understand that. Like, I can have empathy for him. He's not like later in his career, twilight of his career, where it's like, all right, you're demoted, come off the bench. So I understand the ego. And I mean, he does deserve to be a starter, but it's not the right role. He's going to change his mentality.
But I have something to say, right? Because what frustrates me is players come out and say, oh, I want to win a championship. I want to do this and that. If you want to do that, you know what it takes to win a championship?
Can you give me that box?
Mute yourself, Martel. You know what it takes for you to win a championship? Sacrifice. Remember that word, sacrifice. I don't care if you're 18, 19, 20. Yeah, there's difference. We get it. You could be 20 years old and 37. Some people are going to sacrifice. Some people have the maturity in their head and stuff like that. I get it. You made a good point, Amir, and stuff like that. But we all know this is it. We need to win a championship in this Jimmy Butler's era. So, Tyler Herro, you need to do whatever it takes for us so you can shut me, Amir, and Martel and Ernest's mouth to shut up. Force all of us to shut up, win us a championship, and go from there, right? If we win this one championship, I'm not going to complain.
But that's if you win. That's if you win. You know what I mean? Because winning solves everything.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is, right, like, he's the type of player is just like, I'm going to take all these shots. I know I'm a good player. Like, he doesn't care. Like, I just feel like he's just for, like, everybody keeps saying he's just for himself. He's not helping this team win at the end of the day. Simple. There's games where he's like, he's our number one guy, and then there's games where he looks like the fucking worst player on our team.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand, man. I get you.
You know?
I get you.
Yeah.
What's the Heat's record without Tyler? I think I remember when he was missing those 18 games, we had a better record, right, with him off. Yeah, I don't want to bring up that narrative again.
Something like that.
Let's see how we do with Tyler being doubtful tonight, right? Let's see how the ball movement works tonight.
Yeah, look at last year.
Right.
Look at last year. So
Yeah. We'll see. I think we're playing the Magic tonight. I know
Yeah.
there's some injuries on their side. Franz Wagner's out. It's big, but Jimmy's out
Oh,
again.
he is.
Yep.
He's
Yeah,
out.
he's out.
Oh, thank God. Well, but listen, this Miami Heat team with no Tyler Hero, no Jimmy Butler. At the end of the day, now it's going to be on Bam, which I still think Bam can carry. But once again, you really don't want Bam doing that type of stuff. And it's not even the All-Star break yet. You know what I mean? Like playing 40 minutes a game, 30, 10 and 10. That's a lot to put on Bam because he already does so much, especially defensively. He already does so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is Kyle out tonight again too?
Yeah.
He's gotta be.
Sure.
Good.
Because if he has a sprained hand for real, he's not playing.
Yeah, it's so only people that are playing today is Caleb Martin.
He's back?
He's back. Caleb Martin is back.
That's
Tyler
good.
Herro's doubtful, and Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry remain the same.
He needs to up his trade value, Caleb, on that expiring contract. He needs to. I thought he was going to have an awesome year because he's going to have to show out. He's going to have to prove his worth, finally get that real bag, like that second contract. He's got
still
one nice
good, though.
one.
He's still
He
good.
is. I was hoping that he'd be like 16, 17 points a game, like a starter, but he's been hurt. He's been in and out with the tendonitis, now the knee tendonitis, now the ankle. Like, there's still plenty of time left for him to show out.
Would you keep him long term or no?
No.
Would you keep him?
No, we can't. We don't want to go over the second apron and give him. He's gonna get like Gabe Vincent in between Gabe Vincent and Max money, right? Which was like 30 to 60 million. He's gonna go for 50 million, right? He's gonna try to get at least 50
okay.
million.
So what if he has like another type of burst out like how he did in the playoffs? Would you keep him long term, or is it just strictly like, you know what, Caleb Martin, thank you for everything, but we moving on?
Yeah, because we got Jaime there on that rookie scale contract. We want him to evolve. We got Haywood like on a cheap ass deal. He's probably making what, 3 million, 4 million. So he's replaceable because we have so many players.
Do you let him walk? And that's my final question, because remember, in my opinion, we let a guy like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, we helped build these guys' career, and then now we just let these guys walk out the door with no assets. Do you guys let him walk, or is it a sign and trade?
It depends though, because like, are we trading Lowry first, like before the season during the trade deadline? Because if we don't, and then Lowry's 30 million goes off the books, sure, we'll have some salary cap. Do we want to give that to Kyle, or do we want to save that for another player, another disgruntled, person that might be requesting a trade, or another free agent out there that might fit better than Caleb, right? There might be a point guard or a power forward or someone, because we have so much depth at the wing spot. You know what I mean? Like, so that's all depends on my end. What do you think, Trent? I mean, I don't want to sign him outright. I don't think Caleb's going to be worth 60 million for this team at this point.
Yeah, I've been said. I think we should trade Caleb. I think Caleb is going to be part of a deal that's going to be for a star if it eventually does happen, right? He's going to have to be a part of it, and then that's why we got Jovic, who continues to keep playing and keeps playing pretty well. And like you said, we got Haywood Highsmith. We got what's his name, Jamie?
Jaime, baby.
Yeah, Jaime, whatever his damn name is. Sorry, Heat fans. And and so those are three big pieces right there. And any contender team would take a Caleb Martin right now.
Oh, for sure.
Any contender team. So obviously, I wouldn't want to trade him up east. Obviously, if we got to get Donovan Mitchell, fuck it. But yeah, I'm willing to trade him easily.
Let me propose this then. Let's transition to the next piece real quick. So I know we're running up on time. So let's finish off with like every Heat fans or just NBA fans' favorite subject: trades, rumors, all that stuff. So Dejounte Murray, we all know, according to Jake Fisher, Yahoo Sports, said that the Heat, Knicks, Lakers, Magic, a few other teams are all interested. The Miami Heat have apparently had some conversations or called the Hawks because the Hawks last week said they're going to trade the farm. Everybody except for Jalen Jackson and Trey,
Johnson.
Johnson. They're all untouchable. Those two are untouchable. The rest are available. So Dejounte, rumored to possibly come to the Heat. So Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry, those are contracts that I would think that we would want to trade, right? Because I don't think I want to trade Jovic, Jaime. They're not going to take Tyler because Dejounte has the same contract as Tyler, basically 4-year, $120 million. If they're going to rebuild, they want to get that big salary off their books, and they want to try to add someone else next to Trae Young. So I don't think Tyler is even in a possibility, right? They want the money to come off the books, expiring contract. So what are your thoughts on those rumors, those reports? I know we talked about it with Ernest last week. He picked Dejounte as the player he wanted to be traded to the Miami Heat to put us over the top. What are your thoughts, and like what kind of package are we looking at to make this happen realistically?
You go, Martin.
I mean, realistically, like, it. What do the Hawks want? Because it's like you said, they don't want to put money on their books. They're not going to put out, they're not going to get rid of 100 million to add another 100 million as well. And then also too, what does Trae Young want? Because is he trying to compete down the road? Is he trying to compete within the next 2 years? Because I'm surprised they gave up what, like at least 5 picks for Dejounte Murray, or like 4 first-round picks, something astronomical like that when they did trade for him. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure they gave up a hefty package. So if they give up a hefty package, they're gonna want a hefty package in return. I think in terms of fit, I think he does fit on this Miami Heat roster with his athleticism, his defense, his scoring. He's a bigger point guard that we could put at that point guard position. I think he checks all the boxes, especially with the timeline. If we were to keep Tyler Herro, Bam Adebayo, and Jaime Jaquez Jr., but I know for a fact if we were to make a trade for that, just with the Hawks, Jaime or Jovic, they're gonna ask for one of them all for it because they're gonna want some young talent in return. I'm willing to let go of Jovic only because, listen, Jaime Jaquez Jr., he's ready to play right now. And this is when it really comes down to Jimmy Butler's winning window. Are we trying to win now or are we trying to win later? Because Jimmy Butler's, window is closing. Of course, it's Heat culture. Of course, the Miami Heat could beat whoever, but we can't always rely on that. You see what I'm saying? Especially with Jimmy Butler getting older. We can't just rely on, we're going to get it done like in the playoffs. No, we need guys who are going to help us win right now, who can at least help carry Jimmy Butler into the playoffs. It can't just be on Tyler and Bam. We got to find some type of an upgrade. And if it's not Jamal Murray, maybe smaller upgrades like the Colin Sexton with the Kelly Olynyk. We desperately need a point guard. I don't think Kyle Lowry can get it done enough consistently. And we need a reliable four, even though Hayward Highsmith is doing well. But especially when it comes down to the playoffs, you got to be able to match up with certain teams. And it's like with Denver, we got outsized. So you need size next to Bam Adebayo. You need guys who can rebound, guys who can set picks, guys who can defend. Yes, Hayward Highsmith can do that. Yes, Kevin Love can rebound. But especially when it's like what Trent said, when you play these teams from the West and when you start playing these better teams who can outscore you, who can outsize you, this is where, okay, yeah, Jamal Murray is great, but you need players that can match up with the other team as well on their talent level as well.
So to confirm real quick, so the Hawks got Murray, Jock Londale for Danilo Gallinari and 3 first-round picks. So
3 first-round picks. So you got to expect to at least come at them with at least 3 first-round picks, at least.
You think 3? You think we can? I think 2 possibly.
I think 2 can get it done, but then you probably got to give us we probably got to give up Jaime, Jovic, and Kyle Lowry. That's just me.
I wouldn't, but you mentioned earlier, I'm going to ask you this though, because you mentioned this, and I don't know, I want to get your opinion, Trent, too, though. You said you're willing to give up Jovic, let's say Jovic, Kyle, and 2 picks could get it done. You would be willing to give up Jovic? Because I'm not. I'm not willing to give up either Jaime or Jovic for Murray. I like for Spida, like if it's like Herro and Jovic, and then we get like Spida and someone else, we would probably have to get someone else then, another rotational player, then I'd be willing to, but not for Murray. I don't know. That's my opinion. But you said you would. Trent, would you get rid of Jovic for that?
You have to give at least one. One guy has to go, at least one. They're gonna want young talent in return.
But in theory, we could do 3 first-round picks, Kyle and Caleb. That could get it done. We'd have to give up the third pick, which would be rough.
I feel like we're overthinking this situation right here. I do think the Hawks do want to go into, I don't want to say rebuild mode, but I think they want to blow it up a little bit. They want to get rid of their players in the sense, and like they're still going to be a solid team, whatever the case may be. But just because Atlanta traded that for Dejounte, does that mean that that's his value now? Dejounte Murray value is probably not the same as what he was going for and when he was in San Antonio and stuff like that. That's just not the case, and that's not going to happen. It's always going to be less. So when we look at these star players and stuff like Harden and Durant, and they don't go for what we all think we're like 4 first-round picks and stuff like that. It's usually not like that sometimes. And so with Atlanta's front office, they're probably going to be stupid as shit and just do dumb stuff. Like, let's just get off this. Like, let's just get off this contract and take anything at this point. Like, I feel like that's what Atlanta may be doing at this point. I mean, look at the teams that are interested in him, right? When we look at the teams, you got Detroit Pistons. What the fuck can they offer? Like, let's just be honest. What can they offer? You can't tell me one thing. They're not offering Cade. It's not happening, right? Look at the Knicks. They just traded for OG Anunoby. They can offer these expiring deals and whatnot, but I don't even know Who's on the Knicks that got our expiring deals? Probably bums. The
Or how many
76ers,
picks they have? How many picks do they have? They gave some picks to.
well, you
the
could
Knicks.
talk. Well, but you could talk about the picks, but there has to be players involved too, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely.
of course. Then you got the 76ers, the Heat, and Lakers. I mean, like, there's not a lot of teams that have much to offer for this dude Dejounte. There's a reason why, like, he's still on that team. Like, look at OG Anunoby. He got up out of there. Like, they said, "Bat, we pulling this trigger now." And yes, I understand it's still early and stuff like that, so they're still filling out the market and whatnot. But I think it might come to the point where the trade deadline is going to be here before you know it, and they want him off the team, and it's like, bam, we're just going to take whatever it comes and what offer it takes. And then that's when we're going to be mad at Pat Riley, because he's most likely not going to be traded to this team. He's going to be traded to a bum team, and we look at the package and be like, Riley, you couldn't offer that? That's what's going to
Like the
happen.
Bradley Beal. I mean, the
Yes.
Bradley Beal though, it was like we didn't want to
That
go over. We didn't want his contract
Yeah.
and the injury history, but I know it's similar to that in a sense.
But that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to come back on the show and we're going to rant like, what are you doing, Riley? You couldn't give that just for that? So
Yeah.
that's
No, but that's
exactly.
on Mickey though, because if he don't want to pay up the bread, our hands are tied.
It's literally all together, bro. Let's be honest. That's all of them.
Bro,
It's
watch
all-
the 76ers get him for DeAndre Melton and like
Yeah.
DeAndre in one pick or DeAndre in
it's-
like pick swaps and like what? Like
Yeah.
you could have given up Kyle and Caleb only and
Yeah.
it would have been good. You know what I mean? And they become even stronger, and that would piss me the hell off if that happens. But
That's just.
I don't know.
how
I think you're
feel
right.
about
I
it.
think we feel it out. Yeah, we get closer to the trade deadline. They're going to be. They said this is a fire sale. They said they're willing to trade Bogdanovich. They're willing to trade Hunter. They're willing to trade everybody but those two pieces, Trey and Johnson. So to your point, the longer this takes out, that could be more beneficial for the Miami Heat because then we don't have to offer more assets because they just need to get rid of them before the deadline. They could hold out till next year, but they want to tank at this point. You get them off the team, they already have they're below 500, 6 games below. There's not a really good draft class, I guess, apparently next year, but still, it behooves you to win at this point because you're not even a play-in team at this point. Lose, get a good pick, get some money off the books. You still have Trey, who's an all-star. You still have a couple good pieces. Then the rebuild is quicker. It's not a full rebuild to your point, Trent. So
exactly, that's what I just feel. So yeah. But I will say this, right? We can finish it off with this. Bam Adebayo for tonight's game and whatnot, with no Jimmy and no Tyler. He puts up some big numbers, man. I just had the stat. Damn, I lost it. He was giving like 30 plus points around there without Jimmy and Tyler. So we need a big night from him, and hopefully we get this W tonight, man, because we're falling in the seeding off one loss. You know.
It's wild, dude. Like as we were saying, the standings are crazy. Just one loss. We're at what, 7 right now? Let me take a look real quick.
Yeah.
Yep, we're at 7. We're tied with the Magic. So if they beat us, then I think we lose the tiebreaker because we'll be 1-on-1 with them. But the good news right now is the Heat are 7-0 or 8-0 in division. I mean, we have a shitty ass division. The Magic, I thought they were overachieving. Obviously, the first couple weeks when they were like the 2 seed and 3 seed, I knew they were going to fall eventually. But they're legit. They're a legit young team, up and coming team like the Rockets, like the Jazz. You know, they're all coming together eventually. But they're no threat. We're the only team in the NBA that has not lost in our division yet. So let's keep that streak going. But if we lose tonight, we're going to be 21-17. They'll be 22-16. So they're going to have that tiebreaker as well, and we could drop to the 8th seed just like that and be 2 games behind. So it's a tight race. Every game's important. We got to focus on winning every game, but it's really hard when you get a new fucking guy injured every single goddamn week. It's just hard, but we got the best coach in the NBA, right? He's going to make the best with who we have out there. Jovic is going to get some more time. Haywood coming off a career high. He's going to get some more minutes tonight. Bam's going to have to show out, to your point. He's going to have to be aggressive, man. Tyler Herro is off. That's like 18 to 23 shots that he takes per game. Bam's going to have to get into that like 18, 19 range tonight. You know, he's been shooting like 12, 13, 14. He's been a little less aggressive with Jimmy out, which has been kind of wild. I thought he would be taking those, but boy wonder has been inefficiently taking those shots, as we're obviously upset about. So look for a more efficient night from Bam Adebayo, and Jaime Jaquez and Jovic and the youngsters are going to have to contribute tonight. But the Magic are fucking trash, bro. We already know this. As long as there's no random Heat scrub killer on their team tonight, which I don't know who that could be, because they are becoming a little bit better. You know,
there's always one random scrub Heat killer, man. There's always one.
Yeah, I mean, Suggs. I guess he's better though. I think he's improved, man. They got a good squad out there. Cole Anthony, I don't think he's a scrub. They have a lot of good pieces, but we're gonna get that dub tonight. I'm not worried about the Magic. But anyway, guys, this was good. We're well over time. We're shooting for 20, 30 minutes, but this is what happens when you get together and talk about Miami Heat basketball. You have fun. So just want to thank you guys again for joining today. We'll come back, I think, next week, Tuesday. We're going to have Ernest jump on for Miami Heat Talk. So the four of us are going to talk more about the current state of the Miami Heat. We'll talk about some other trade rumors because we're getting closer and closer to that February 8th trade deadline. And we all know that we want to get Tyler Herro off this team. So thanks for joining, boys. Talk to you guys again soon.
And before we end, subscribe to their channels. Subscribe to Ernest. Bro, let's go. Let's get these subscribers up. Subscribe to their channels. Let's go.
For sure.
We're trying to grow. Yeah, man. Thanks, Martel. Really appreciate that. I'll link everybody's channels again in the description.
Have a good night.
Peace.